What's going on, guys? So today, this little video, it's just kind of a small update. I haven't done too much on Project Prelude. I've been really busy with some other projects for some other customers, and I haven't really had the chance to do too much to Project Prelude. I did finally get the oil pan mounted back on there. When I had pulled the H22 from the junkyard that I have in there now, I pulled off the oil pan and everything to make sure that there was no metal shavings or rod bearing material or any kind of bearing material in the oil pan before I went ahead and pulled the trigger on buying it. So it took me a while to get that all cleaned up and then resealed back up again. I just did that today. So the majority of the difficult stuff, or what I consider the difficult stuff, is kind of done as far as the assembly goes of the long block. So the next thing, obviously, that we're going to need to do, well, that I want to do, not that I have to do it, is I actually want to switch out the injector wiring on the harness. I previously have had a couple of 92 and 93 Honda Accords that I have swapped in the past, and they all have the same kind of a harness. You guys are all kind of familiar, maybe, for those who are Honda Prelude or Honda Accord enthusiasts. Let me see if I have what I'm talking about here really quick, if I can show you guys. So these harnesses come with like these little clips. I'm sure you've seen them before, and you have to put them on here a certain way, and then after you get them on here wrapped around, they're not too much of a pain in the butt to do once you've done it a while. And then to get them off the car, for every reason you ever have to take the harness off, you have to get a small screwdriver and peel them each off, and hopefully this little clip doesn't go flying out after you've been trying to get it off. A while back, when I actually used to work for a parts supplier, just your general local auto parts store, I worked at one for a while, and I was looking at doing a custom harness, or redoing my harness just to make it look a little cleaner. And I actually came across these. These are all-in-one clips, pigtails. And they're actually for DSM injectors, which is what I'm currently running. The clips, the first gen, second gen fuel injectors, turbo fuel injectors, or even the regular injectors use this kind of a clip. I don't know if this is an updated one or if the ones on the actual first gen or second gen Eclipses use this actual pigtail. But when I came across these are a much simpler style injector. Let me see if I have some spare injectors here. I think I do. These are OBD2, so I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, no, these ones won't work. Let me go grab one really quick. Okay, so here we have a OBD1 injector. This is off of these are the same injector. This is off of the H23, so it's similar to the F series injectors, connectors and everything. Now, here's the difference between this pigtail and the OEM one. The OEM one, if I clip this in, it's in. Now, in order to take it off, I gotta pull these tabs off of each side, which I don't have a small screwdriver. Let me actually get one really quick. Small one. Should have got my tools ready before I tried even showing this. That's how prepared I am. Yeah, this will work. So this is something you would have to do while the injector is in place in the car. You got to get each side, pull the tab out, make sure this doesn't fly out. Usually I kind of leave it halfway and then you can pull it out. So it's a little bit more of a task. With these, I don't know if you can see this part right here, it's already all embedded. You don't have to take anything off. You just push this down and it releases it. So you get this clip, this one here, locked in place. Now to take this off, all you have to do is push up here on this tab and it pulls up. So just show you really quick. I don't have to do anything else, no extra tools, screwdrivers. You push down and there you go, it's out. All it is simple pushing on this down. These clips, I don't remember exactly how much they cost. Obviously when I was working at that parts store, I got a discount because I got an employee discount, but I don't think they were too expensive. But honestly, I think they're worth the money if you work on the car a pretty good amount. And with a lot of these old connectors, they're old, brittle. The wires that hang off of the tips of them, right on the edges, tend to crack and break. So it's actually a real cheap way to cleaning up your engine bay a little bit. You can route your wires underneath the intake manifold and they spread out from the middle out, which is kind of how I had mine in my Accord. So you can do that, which is what I plan to do with these. I'm going to go ahead and get the loom taken off and then wire it up the way that I wanted to come out. Since these aren't color matched, what I went ahead and did and just marked them. See, this one says 1. This one has a 2 on it. This allows me to know what injectors are for what. Instead of having to go back, because I use heat shrink and everything to kind of, this is what I did here. You can't see it very well, but this is where I soldered everything up, kind of clean. This was all loomed up, so you couldn't see the color of the wire, so that you don't get confused. You know, it's just a good idea just to kind of number your injector clips so you know what goes where. If you ever get a tune, person will know what the heck they're doing instead of trying to take apart your entire wiring harness. But that's just a suggestion. Like I said, these clips, if you go to an O'Reilly or AutoZone, I got these at O'Reilly, so I know for sure that they have them. They were for a 91 Eclipse, Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo. I don't think it makes a difference if it's turbo or not. The clips, I think, are all the same. The injector sizes are the only differences, but that's what I got. That's what I use, and as you guys can see, it clips right on to the injector. You know, it makes it easier to take on, take off. No extra tools that you have to carry around or worry about these little pins or clips flying out, losing them, and then trying to figure out a way and getting your clips to stay. So I'm probably gonna, I don't know if I'll show it on video how I do it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You're taking off all the loom, you're routing your wires the way you want, and then you're soldering them back in place, and that makes things a little bit easier. So that was just a real quick tip that I kind of wanted to show any of you Honda enthusiasts or Prelude, or 4th gen Prelude, even 5th gen, I guess, if you're going to run the DSM injectors for some reason. Prelude, I'm sorry, the Accord guys, 90 to 93, even the 94 to 97, you can still use these same clips as well. So yeah, and I guess I'll show you guys really quick what I did to the Prelude. So as you guys can see, here we are. Like I said, I haven't done too much to it. I haven't even put the cowl on like I said I was going to. I do have a better conditioned cowl. It still needs to be cleaned up, and I might respray it, but I haven't put that back on yet. I know I am Ricer. I did paint the engine block just because I didn't like the way it came out when I cleaned it. I did clean it with Purple Power, and it leaves a residue on it, which I did not like, so I went ahead and repainted it. The head is just the regular casting. I just got done putting on the oil pan. I also painted that the same color just because I couldn't get it as clean as I wanted to. I got most of the stuff off of the oil pan, but it just wasn't as clean as I wanted. And to be honest with you, I'd rather paint it to know that if it has any leaks, I will see the leaks. It's not so much aesthetically why I did it. I like having things clean and noticeable to where I can see if something is leaking, and if something is leaking, it will definitely be visible here. I've already got my mounts in, got my Hasport rear mount. Might be getting a Hasport mount on this side. Hasport, I guess, does not make a mount over here. So I think Innovative makes a mount for this one side. I just don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to have too many mixed matched parts on the car. But yeah, that's how she sits right now. I am actually looking into somebody, or trying to find somebody actually to, like I had mentioned in a previous video, I have my PLM, whether it's replica or not, I don't know. Tri-Y header here. The only thing is that I could not find the rear piece, so I'm going to try and see if I can find somebody local who can fab me up the lower section of the header, so that I can have a complete header. I really would like to use this header instead of the stock one that I have, because I'd rather not go and buy a whole nother set of exhaust manifolds just to not use the stock one. This one I got for really cheap, so a little bit of money invested into something else won't be too bad. The only other thing I will actually also be doing is, let me see, where is it? So this was the wiring right here for the map sensor that went on the wall over here, with that other, I forget what valve or whatever that thing is, but I don't need it. The only thing I need is the map sensor, which was this one here. So I am going to be extending this so that I can use the stock map sensor on this throttle body. I do believe this is a, yeah, this is an H22 intake manifold that I got a while back when I was running my F20B. And it has the 450cc DSM injectors, and I don't know if you can see the red, but I have a Zerg Industries intake manifold gasket, whatever thing. Don't mind the ghetto catch can fittings. That is not staying on here. This was a spare valve cover that I got from somebody. I have another valve cover that I actually need to get redone over here, so that's actually the one I'll be using, not this one. Not that this wasn't a good idea, but they didn't really do it the cleanest, so but yeah, that's where we're at right now. As you guys can see, the back kind of looks a lot cleaner with a lot less stuff on there. Got rid of a lot of stuff that was back there. A lot of it is emission stuff and fuel vapor thing, canister. This car won't be driven too much on the road, so I won't need all that stuff. I actually plan on tracking the car like at the local NASA events, hopefully. So once everything is running pretty good and stable, then I'll probably look at upgrading the suspension on this thing, because it definitely needs it. Probably going to be getting a traction bar, because I really cannot stand these long, big, huge, annoying bars that are everywhere. The front brakes are already upgraded. I didn't show too much of that stuff because that was before I started recording, but I actually already had, kind of dusty because this car's been sitting, but I had the larger caliper and caliper bracket for the 11-inch rotors. I actually got them off of a Accord wagon. I think it was like a 93 wagon, and I had them on my 92 Accord, but that was a different type of brake rotor system. This, all I had to do on this car was get the new bigger VTEC brakes for the Preludes, and then add these calipers and brackets, and it all fit up pretty nice. So the front brakes are brand new, and the upper control arms on this car are brand new too, because they were completely hanging on by a thread when I bought the car. So that was also a nice investment that I got done. But surely it's coming along. The only other thing I've done on the interior is also swapped out the seats in my Accord. I had Prelude, pretty clean Prelude seats, so I swapped those in. Fixed the climate control and not the climate control, but the electronic module that let me see if I come over here and I show you guys. Not there. These things here. So this is a spare one that I have just in case. I've already tested it and it does work. Yeah, this is the one that was burnt, I'm sure. Here's a couple of spots that look like they got hot or burnt. I think if we flip these over, you can kind of see the difference in them. Looks like a burn mark. Honestly, I don't know too much about what areas look unsoldered or whatever, but I know for a fact that this one works because I tested it on a 12 volt and it was working. These sections right here look okay. These ones over here look burnt. This is the one that was in the car, so I know for a fact it wasn't working. I went to the junkyard and they had a couple of Preludes, so I pulled a few of them with the harness, and it's pretty simple: power and ground. Power and ground, the only two I have stripped here. Connected it to a battery to test it, and this was no good. Tested that one was good, and the one in the car is good as well. So I have a spare one just in case anything ever happens to the other one. I have a bad habit of hoarding parts. I don't know why, but I do. Have my bunch of spare parts, RSX shifter. I told you guys I'm probably going to be throwing that into the Prelude. There's the shifter box with the shifters, a ton of ECUs. Here is the I actually found the box the other day. I think it's K-tuned, or I don't remember the name brand of this bracket, but it's just a bracket that allows you to use the K-series shifters on an H or F-series transmission. So that's that adapter. Spare oil pan, other random stuff. This is my someday we'll get to build it block. This is my F20B short block with a F23 crank, 86 mil. It's freshly honed, just came back from the machine shop. Well, not just, but it's kind of been sitting for a little bit. So we'll see what I do with that one day. Spare Prelude seat, spare H cams, another spare H cam. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. This is probably a pretty long video, but hopefully now that I've got most of the projects that I've been already done with and have been paid are done, I can spend a little bit more time in trying to finish this up and just get it running. Even if it's not completed and the front end's not on, as long as I can get this car to fire over, I will feel much more content, and things will probably get moving a bit faster if I hear this thing turn over. But that's it for today, guys. That's the update on Project Prelude. I'll see you guys in the next one.